for me, it's just cool to sort of stand here in that space where those millions of people were. I still feel like there's an atmosphere of optimism hovering in the weeds out there, you know. And I think so. I think that's great. So the idea that if Obama can be elected, and it's true, anything is possible, and all these things that we think are important can become possible. But it's not. You know, it's not going to happen unless we work our asses off, as always. You know.
And you are certainly, to me, a model of working asses off, at least in music.
Well, but I love it, so that's different. You know what I mean? I mean, I am one of the lucky weirdos out there who gets to do exactly what he likes, and no one has stopped me yet. You know? I know.
You were saying that you just sometimes you just don't know because these issues are so difficult and complex. And
well, I know that I care, but I don't want to make the mistake that all sort of cultural, you know, zeniths, you know, sort of they think everybody should be like me. I mean, I think that was always the problem with the hippies. It's sort of like, you know, if you're not just like us, you must be the enemy. And I don't want to live in a world where everybody is in a group like the Flaming Lips. I want people to be their own weirdos. I know I am, you know, and so I don't want everybody to be like me. And in a sense, I mean, these environmental ideas, I don't want it to seem like, you know, it's an us versus them thing, because that never gets anybody anywhere. We really want these to just be common sense, you know, things that everybody does. The hippies aren't doing it, and you know, the green people aren't doing it. It's just everybody doing it. And I think sometimes that's the biggest mistake people make, is that you want to be branded as a thing. But branding almost just says, you know, you're the enemy of me if you're not like me, and I don't like that stuff. You know, when we go out to play shows, it is all about, look, if you're here, you're one of us. And let's deal with that, and let's have the best time we can. And we don't try to force people to all be one big thing, you know. So I don't know. I mean, I talk about things all the time. Like when I was growing up, the idea of smoking. When I was young, everybody smoked everywhere in the world. You know, everywhere you went, people smoked, and you never thought about it. And here it is. It's not that much longer in my life, and smoking is a weird, sort of obscure thing that people go into corners and do it now. That happened within a short span in my life. I remember, even when I started to drive, I didn't wear a fucking seatbelt.
Yeah.
Fuck it. You know, life's short anyway. But those ideas even change. I get in a car now, and if people don't put on the seatbelt right away, we're like, hey, what are you doing? You know, and in my own life, those sort of common sense things have actually changed. So I think all these things are possible, but it's never going to be possible if we walk around saying, I'm cool because I think this thing, and you're not cool because you're against it. We almost have to do it just invisibly, like, of course this is a good idea. Doesn't make you cool, doesn't make you uncool. So we'll see what happens. I know I'm cool already.
Do you guys?
Do you have any green tips, anything you could give?
You know, I don't really even know. I mean, everything that people can do, you know, people who have a free enough lifestyle where they can pick and choose, whether they can ride their bicycle to work, or, you know, what products they pick. I mean, I think all that sort of stuff is great. But I live in a neighborhood that really is one of the lowest income neighborhoods in Oklahoma City, and it's tough to tell a family that when the father is addicted to crack and the mother's trying to raise 4 kids, what kind of dog food they should buy. It seems a little bit absurd, and so I know that these issues they're a luxury item that I get to pick. Oh, I can drive a Prius, look at me. I remember when I didn't have a choice. I had to ride my bicycle to work, not because I was green. I rode it because it was the only thing I had, And so I don't know. I mean, I still think we're all living a little bit above just what are we going to do to survive. And in times like this, where, I mean, I know just people in my neighborhood come up to me when I'm working in the yard, say, hey, can I work for an hour? And, because I don't have a job and I don't know what I'm going to do. My kids need, some cereal this morning. I mean, I don't know what to say. There isn't anything that we want to tell them about what they should do. And again, I think everybody who is here, everybody who's interested in these things is already doing it. Anybody who would want want to know already has their own way. So I don't know. You know, I mean, I want to, and as much as the Flaming Lips music really does to speak to everybody, I would say all these things are just common sense, and there's choices everybody can make. But you know, it's not in the front of everybody's minds, and how can it be? You know, some people don't have anything, and they're lucky to get whatever they have, you know, given to them. So I don't know. I would never be one to preach any kind of lifestyle. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, maybe we need to think about ways of bringing environmental issues and the message about ecology into those other issues like social justice and economic
Well,
equality and
I mean,
stuff. Is that possible?
all I ask is that people try to be nice to each other, and we can work it out from there.
That's the
You know,
Hey, that works.
I mean, you know, we make little strides here and there, but I mean, even from my own neighborhood, which is all I really feel like I have any say over, is in my little area there. We've planted as many trees as we can in our neighborhood, and I will get people that live in the neighborhood saying, "It's so great that you plant these trees." And I know it is, but also they're expensive. You know, it wouldn't be easy for a person who doesn't have some kind of expendable income to plant 50 trees. I mean, it would be hard to do. And so, and the trees that we're planting, you know, they're already 5 years old. You know what I mean? It can defeat a young person to plant a tree that's this big and know that they're not really going to even have any shade from it until they're in their 30s. You know, I mean, that's long-range thinking. You know, so in my own situation, I do what I think, you know, works for me, and if it works for the environment and all those sort of ways, well, good. And so in my own way, that's what I've done. So I don't know. I'm probably not a very good role model.
Well, I think you're good at building community, and you're good at building community around, you know, something that people from all different backgrounds can.
Well, I mean, I know like I said, we're never going to get anywhere if we try to paint it as, you know, we're cool and you're not, and we're smart and you're stupid and all that. You know, I mean, we're hopefully with Obama and all that, we can all just rise above that. That was the greatest thing I saw over this past year. Is every time it seemed like Obama had the chance to just say, "You're an idiot. Why would we?" You know, he didn't. He just proved that, you know, his ideas are better just simply by being better, not by stating it all the time. And that's what we are. That's what we all do. You know, we're going to find out sooner or later that just by doing what we think is right, by doing what we think is best for our world, you know, we'll do it more by example than by talking. I'm still surprised that marijuana isn't legal. You know, I mean, when I was young, I couldn't imagine that the year 2000s, it would, you know, we'd still be grappling with bullshit like that. So in my own life, I've seen it. I mean, you know, in Norman, Oklahoma, it was actually legal. I mean, pot was legalized at one time. You know, small quantities of it. And you know, it's been reversed 3 or 4 different times. So it's a struggle, you know, and depending on who's in power and who's not, these ideas get a little further up the hill, but they get drugged down a little bit. So I don't know. You know, we just.
Well, there's a lot of talk now about there's sort of more serious talk about legalization, it seems, especially after.
There is, but you know, things like wars going on and all this, you know, economic stuff. I mean, things like marijuana should not be the front on anybody's list. Someone like Obama stands up and says we want to do Social Security here, we want to legalize marijuana there. Everybody's just going to beat him up. He knows that already. You know, he's smart enough to know. And to me, people who want to smoke pot, fucking do it anyway. Who gives a shit? You know, I never waited for the world to give me permission. I just sort of thought, if I like it, I'm going to do it. You know. Anyway, I'm going to run up there.
Okay.
All right, but thank you guys, and I'm glad we got together. And if I said anything you can use, have fun.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.